What's up, everybody? My name is Adam Palmer. This is Daily Nonsense. On today's show, we're going to be talking about some statistics for a young hockey player, a new Walmart policy that just went into effect for cards, and an NFT that was recently sold by Goldin. If you like this content, make sure you leave a like. If you are a new viewer, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any future Daily Nonsense content. Let's get into it. We've now officially passed the point in Connor Bedard's career where he has played a full 162 games. And he's having a pretty decent start to this season and his third season. I think the other day he got his first hat trick of his career, which, hat tricks don't necessarily, you getting 3 goals in one game doesn't necessarily, more of them doesn't make you a good player or a bad player. But I think the interesting thing that I saw was that there was some statistics that were put out through the first 162 games that Bedard and Patrick Kane, another classic Chicago Blackhawks player, they had basically the same stats. They had the same amount of game-winning goals, essentially the same amount of points. I think it was very within 1 or 2. Same with assists and goals. Like, they were both very similar. And I think it goes to show that, even if a player, and this has happened in the NFL as well, where even if a player doesn't have a good first or second year, doesn't mean their career is over. Which in the sports card industry, unfortunately, people are very impatient when it comes to waiting for a prospect. So, Bedard's cards right now are actually pretty decently priced. I mean, he had such an important rookie year in the sports card industry that Upper Deck changed the configuration of their boxes, which I still can't believe they did that during Bedard's rookie year. They moved from, it was 190 cards you got in total in a hobby box to 150. They essentially switched, you got more packs but less cards per pack. It really, I can't believe that Upper Deck actually got away with that and that people don't care, it seems like. But so for Bedard during his rookie season, he's in that series too, has a decent amount. I mean, very similar to a lot of other prospects in that time period where the increasing of print runs was kind of rampant across the sports card industry. So again, it's almost a tale of maybe not buying the prospects right away and actually selling them. That's what I would probably do. I mean, with Bedard, for an example, he is a pretty good player. So I don't know if he's going to turn out to be this transcendent, amazing player that everyone expected him to be, but it can be dangerous if you're buying those cards during the rookie season, because just from a pretty basic perspective, the rookie year is going to be when those cards are going to be most expensive. So, in theory, maybe waiting on some of those cards to buy them until the second or third season, until they're maybe more of an established star, is the way to go. And if you're listening to this show, I'm sure you don't need that reminder, but it is also good for anybody new that's listening to get that reminder every now and then. We have another story that feels like we're going back in time here. So Walmart, Target had done this already previously. I don't know if they still are upholding this. But Walmart has now joined the sports card, trading card train, I guess you could maybe call it, of limiting the amount of cards that people can buy at a specific time. There were a couple pretty viral posts over the past few years. There was a new Pokemon tin that there was a viral video that came out recently of some guy buying hundreds and hundreds of them at one time at a Walmart. They must have either knew the person or they knew when the restock was coming and they were somehow able to buy every single one that they had. So now Walmart is putting in this policy, and I don't know if it's from this viral video necessarily, but usually that's what it comes from. I know when Target did it, it was because this massive fight broke out at one point. At least it was a massive fight broke out, and then they did the policy. I guess I don't 100% know if those are correlated, but I'm putting 2 and 2 together here. There was I think it was a deadly fight too, I'm pretty sure, way back in the day. So now Walmart, you can only buy, I think it's 5 products, which, again, if you are somebody who is going to these stores and buying them and then selling them on eBay or selling them wherever, there are ways around this. Sure, maybe if you buy them and you buy 5 and there's people behind you and they also get 5, you gotta leave the store, go put them away. Or if this is a profitable enough business for some people, they will just bring others to buy these and they'll buy 5 at a time. Now, does it stop people from doing it? I think it does stop at least a few people from, just buying out the stores and selling them for double. And, on one hand, I understand at this point in America, you got to do what you got to do to make money here. So if you are buying all of these products and selling them for double on eBay, I don't love that necessarily. Like, I actually have a sort of a hot take that I think like reselling of unopened products you shouldn't be able to do it like at all. Now, I know that with sports cards and with other industries maybe it's a little bit different, but it just that concept stems from like there was like the formula shortage way back in the day. It really stems from that. People were buying that and selling it, and granted maybe that was an isolated incident, but it happens all the time in other industries where, sports cards are maybe the most obvious example where people are buying them and they're not even buying them to open them and sell the cards. They're buying them to literally just sell them for double or figure out a way to sell them for more. So I just don't know if I love that aspect of a lot of things. Like, there are, I think they're called cook groups, like they're Discord mods or their Discord groups where you can, they find the deals and they find where you can buy a ton of them and then they resell them. I don't love that concept. Like, I know that there's other ways hopefully to, resell. Like, I think reselling something after it's been open, I'm totally fine with that. The one person hopefully has gotten their use out of it. But I think if you're buying something and selling it to just resell it right away, I'm not a huge fan of that, if I'm going to be completely honest. On this show, I have talked about NFTs, and I know that people people in the sports card industry don't necessarily like NFTs, but I just don't really understand. I don't understand the hatred for NFTs. I guess maybe it's because it's almost a way that maybe it's taking money away from the sports card industry, but at the same time, it's like NFTs and sports cards are the same thing. And the reason I'm bringing this up today is because Goldin actually sold their first ever NFT. They sold one of these Steph Curry, and I know it's just an image, but it was a Steph Curry Logo Man autograph NFT sold for $72,000. And I think if you were to try to explain an NFT sale to someone maybe even in the sports card industry, you might even have a tough time doing that the same way that like somebody who's not in the sports card industry, I think if you were to try to explain to them why a certain sports card sold for $72,000, let alone a couple $1,000,000, it's probably a pretty tough sell and it's probably pretty confusing for those people. So I can understand how the NFTs, like, people don't like them, but they're just digital trading cards. And again, if you are buying and selling and grading and vaulting any of these things, you are already trading NFTs. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. If you buy a card and sell it without ever touching the card, there is no difference than if you are buying and selling an NFT. So, like, and the people who are maybe watching this show, again, who don't like NFTs, I would say you're going to find a lot of articles that are probably pretty annoying, honestly, but I think it is worth learning about the blockchain technology. And this is maybe similar to my last point where it's like selling prospects during their rookie year is really the move, and it's always a good reminder. This is kind of my reminder to people that, like, we are not moving backwards, we're moving forwards when it comes to technology. Like, we're not moving back to the newspaper. And if you look at like all of the deepfake videos and Sora AI and all of these things, like, we are moving forward. We're basically at the point with AI videos that, like, and this is an example I used with my friend actually when I was explaining these, is like back in the day, there was just a guy who went out in the town square and he just said stuff. He said what was going on in the news. Said what was going on in the town. And then eventually one day he just lied. He lied about something, whatever it was, and he got away with it. And then the next day he came out and he lied about another thing. And then all the other town criers, they never lied. They didn't lie about anything. Or then they started to lie. And then, then we got to the point where it was like the printing press. And then eventually someone lied about printing press. So now we're at that point in the history of the medium of video, basically. So like I said, we're moving forward, and the blockchain, I think, is going to help with legitimizing and authenticating video and audio in the future, probably. But like, it's also going to be a big technology when it comes to collectibles, because we are not moving backwards when it comes to that. Like, we're not seeing less NFTs made every single day. Every single day there's more and more being made. I do hope that they do move all of those NFTs over to the Ethereum blockchain. That would be really great for them. And I mean, if I'm Panini, I would almost lean into that. Like, as we're losing the sports card licenses for Panini, if they're not leaning into NFTs, I actually have no idea what they are going to be doing over there, because like, the blockchain, I think, is going to be a revolutionary technology for collectibles. It already is, and now we are seeing major auction houses like Goldin sell an NFT for $70,000. That's all we've got for the show today. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about today's topics. Also, come back here to the Sports Card Nonsense YouTube channel every day for more daily nonsense. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.